People of the internet, today I have some comedy news for you. All things happening in comedy and just weird stories, cool stories, famous people stories, not so famous people stories, but stories about comedy. And today we're starting off with Russell Brand, the MAGA resurrection of Russell Brand. No, I don't care about politics, which side you are. That's not the point of this story, because it says Brand here has made a resurrection by becoming a MAGA guy. Now, I don't really care, what he's doing. But the thing about Brand is I just think he has an attention problem. And he needs lots of attention, because it was like Russell Brand went from this wild party boy, drug addict to, oh, I'm sober, being the sober person. We all know who a sober person, because the first thing they do is tell you they're sober, and then they tell you how many days they've been sober. So he went from that. And then last time I really even paid attention to Brand or heard about Brand, he was like in his guru phase where he was just all holistic and like he had the answers to life and meditation healed everything. He went through that phase, and then he became a Christian. I remember tuning into something and he was a Christian now, and I was like, oh man. And now obviously he dug into politics. So I just think Russell Brand is whatever flavor is popular at the moment. I wouldn't pay much attention to this guy. Look, I'm not trying to make this political. I'm just saying Russell Brand in general is just an attention person, and it's weird. So let's move on. This is what's he going to be? You going to be an astronaut next? Who knows? We'll see. Moving on here. A-list actor jumps on NYC comedy stage unannounced and launches into a stand-up set under fake name. And it says a Hollywood actor took the mic at the New York City comedy stage, unannounced. Oh, I just read that. The star has been frequently the iconic comedy seller and has brought the A-lister with him to the sets. And it's Will Arnett. Will Arnett. I think without the podcast, I don't think Will Arnett would be an A-list actor. I'm not trying to be mean. I like Will Arnett. But I mean, I know some of you were probably thinking super big, but the podcast is, well, it doesn't even rank on the top podcasts anymore, but that's besides the point. Anyways, he's doing comedy. Let's see. Is this guy going to be good? It says he goes up to do stand up, but but has been using a fake name, and everyone in the audience is like, but that's Will Arnett. It's really bizarre, the source said. Maybe he's just trying to make a way on stand-up. But I have to point out, if you have Netflix, this series Flaked, I like it, really great. I think it's from 2017. There's only 2 seasons, but probably the best thing Will Arnett has done. Anyways, moving on from Will now. Here we go. We're moving on. I just wanted to let you know that the New York Times, Entertainment Weekly, and Time Magazine have all release their best stand-up specials. I just want to go over Time because they do 5 smart and silly specials to entertain you. And this one is stuff I've never heard of. It looks like the most not paid for article. So you have Ian Carmel. I don't know who that is, but this is the most credible list so far. Rosebud Baker. I've seen this one on a lot of people's lists. Haven't watched it. I haven't watched any of these. Lisa Traeger, Night Owl. I haven't seen that either. I've seen this on YouTube. Josh Johnson, and then Craig Ferguson. I'm so happy. Ferguson, sorry. That's the one that makes me a little, because Craig Ferguson, I've never seen a stand-up. I just remember him from that TV show. I don't know what, but he was on a TV show where he was playing like some Scottish guy, right? Anyways, it seems like the most credible, because if you come over, let's look at Times, right? Let's go up here. I was scrolling Times before I did this just to see what they said, right? Let's just go here. Sam J, no idea who that is, but doesn't look interesting. Bill Burr, I can get with Bill Burr. Adam Sandler, haven't watched it, but I would make a guess that it's not funny. Hannibal Buress, suspicious. Chris Rock, did we ever really think he was funny? Will Smith revived Chris Rock's career, and he should be thankful for Will Smith doing that. Because Chris Rock, all right. Hannah Gadsby. Now, see, this is where it gets really suspicious. Trevor Noah. Oh, our spidey senses are tingling now here. Come on. The Lucas brothers on drugs. Oh, Lord, Ronnie Chang. Okay. Oh, now I'm super suspicious. Anthony Jeselnik, this one where he has a giant rant on pedophilia. Get out of here. Mark Maron. Now we know this is paid for. Oh, man. We definitely got an ad article here, folks. Patton Oswalt. Oh, Ali Wong. Get out of here. John Mulaney. People, it's obvious when people lie. In this article, Taylor Tom, come on. Oh. Does this guy even look funny to you? Just look, does this guy look funny to you? Does this guy look funny to you? Or does this guy look like a shtick? Like he's trying to make you believe a shtick. His glasses, come on now. Does this look like a special that's funny to you? All right. We're moving on. I'm sorry, folks. The media's lying to you. Lying Ted. Let me try again. Lying Ted. I could do this one better. Sleepy Joe Biden. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Woody Harrelson caused some, I don't know, on the Joe Rogan podcast. Let's take a look.
Now let's turn to Joe Rogan's recent podcast featuring Woody Harrelson. And Woody Harrelson had some interesting comments to make about RFK Jr.
Bobby, I really hope he's able to do some good things because he's certainly a man on a mission and a man who cares deeply.
Yeah.
And I think really heroic.
Very complimentary there. He wasn't so complimentary about Dr. Anthony Fauci.
AZT was very toxic, and they finally had to yank it.
Yeah.
And now they use different chemical cocktails, but like Fauci did some extraordinarily evil.
Yeah, he
knows what he did.
He knows what he did. They're bold comments. Woody.
So if you weren't aware, like a lot of the things, you know, Fauci is a big political topic between the liberals. You know, both sides have a different view of this guy. I'm not on either side, so I just went and go look at the facts. What they're returning to the ACT is the AIDS. It was an AIDS drug that was supposed to help. And it really wasn't very helpful at all. And Fauci was behind that. And just so you have some context, you can believe what you want. The facts are out there. Anyways, Woody's always been controversial. I mean, just look up his dad. Anyways, moving on. It's our manic, crazy, psycho Chris Distefano. Let me hit this before I talk about him. Last time we talked about our boy Chris, he was selling his house, torturing his family, and making a fool of himself on a podcast. And here he is now. It's official. February 21st, he released his special, and it was so great. It was so great. It was so great that I could be the first person to review it. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching it. Do we want to admit some things about the Rogan sphere? They're not funny, people. Because you could say they're funny, but the people that are saying that aren't even watching it. Nobody's watching it. So we know the truth, folks. The truth has always been there. And speaking of specials coming out, Andrew Schulz announces a new Netflix comedy special, Life. Exclusive. Comedian Andrew Schulz has taped a new pregnancy-themed special, Life, that's set to premiere globally on Netflix on March 4th, okay? Filmed during a record-setting run at New York's Beacon Theater, the special is Schultz's second for Netflix, on the heel of Schulz Saves America, a four-parter in which he dissected the most controversial topics of 2020. Excuse me. In the special, directed by Troy Miller, which is billed as the comic's most personal yet, he offers a look at the hilarious and humbling journey of trying to start a family, breaking down the chaos of IVF like only he can. Like only he can. From pumping out samples to dodging emotional landmines. It's raw, real, and will make you grateful your swimmers probably work. Okay, yeah, great. There you go. So all you parents, if you want another special about being a parent and reveling in being a parent, and for us who don't have kids and don't give a shit, yeah, it's probably not going to land with us. But maybe for parents, they always say, people that don't have kids just don't know what it's like. Yeah. If I made a big mistake, I wouldn't admit it either. Okay. And their parents are always like, we have the best kids. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. Moving on. Something cool, something different. PhD researchers and scientists in India, this article is pretty cool, are using, this one guy used stand-up comedy to get better at public speaking and presenting his scientific research, his papers. These guys got to talk. I thought it was cool. Comedy is helping people learn how to do public speaking better. Isn't that amazing? Oh, let's give a round of applause. Anyways, here we go. Moving on. The Monkey, a sinister mix of horror and comedy. Well, if you didn't know these genres could blend, well, apparently they do. In The Monkey, it says one of last year's biggest surprises was Longlegs, a tout white-knuckled horror film that established Oz Perkins, the son of the late Anthony Perkins, as a visionary new filmmaker. What they're talking about is that Nicolas Cage movie, Longlegs, and if you didn't see it, it was absolute garbage. The only thing I remember is when they're driving in the car and he's like, Mommy, Daddy. It was so crazy. But the film was just utterly disappointing. And now the guy that made that utterly disappointing film has now made a horror comedy. I'm going to watch it. I'm a big horror fan. If you can't tell by the posters on the wall and the horror figure collection behind me, big horror fan. So, of course, I'm going to watch this, but I will tell you, honestly, like most things that are on Shudder, it'll probably be absolute trash. But we'll see. Anyways, moving on. So there was a comment, and it didn't get much attention, I think like a month or so ago. I don't know. It was on a video, I think. Or no, maybe I read it in Reddit, in a Reddit article. But it said, since Joe Rogan left, we don't want to tell you, but the LA comedy scene is booming. And it's one of the best kept secrets now. And this is, and I've heard this several times. And now we have this article from LAist. I think that's the name. And it says, Chinese stand-up comedy scene blooms in Los Angeles. Comedians need a space to work their jokes. That's universal. Soon, on a recent Saturday afternoon at Tang Dynasty Restaurant in San Gabriel, a handful of stand-up performers were slinging their stuff at an open mic in Mandarin Chinese. How about that, man? This is a good article. You could read more of it, but there seems to be, and then they talk about this guy. I read a little bit of this. Right here. This guy is performing too. So, look, there was a need for something and people are making it happen. So if you're in LA and you speak Mandarin, here you go. Okay. If you didn't know, this one's pretty cool because I didn't know this. If you didn't know, Don't Tell Comedy Partners is a big, big comedy YouTube. Did you know that? I didn't know that. But they are now partnered with Java Monster, or the Monster Energy Drink Company, to launch half-hour comedy specials. And you could read this article. It'll tell you what I'm about to show you. But look at this. 1.79 million people are subscribed to this channel. I didn't even know. that, you know, that's only like, I think they're only like a couple 100,000 away from Kill Tony. And they're getting views, some more than others. But if you really want to check out comedy, you know, new comedy, people working out sets, different people outside of the Rogan sphere, you can come here, check this out. I've watched a couple of them. They weren't funny at all, but I was hoping to find someone funny. Hey, man, it is what it is. Most comedy out there, I learned, was a lie. It's not funny. There's very, like I told you, I said in a video coming out, I said very few people will ever have access to hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. And just like very few people will have access to that money, very few people will ever actually be really funny in comedy. Well, I just think it's this generation. Man, I remember growing up and just busting out laughing to comedy things. I even say this all the time. Cat Williams, I was 22, I think, when Cat Williams, the one where he talks about eating his kid's cereal. I remember when that came out, and I remember laughing so hard. I remember Corey Holcomb. When Corey Holcomb sat on Shaq's Comedy Hour from like 2008. Bro, the first time I heard Corey Holcomb, dude, his jokes are ruthless. And it was so good. It was so good. Anyways, I didn't know this. This is a massive player in the YouTube comedy space, apparently. There it is. There it is. And I wanted to bring you, lastly, Justin Bieber spends time with Dave Chapelle amid marriage woes. Apparently, Dave Chapelle can do more than comedy. He can also help people get through marriage. And here we are. Justin Bieber was spotted with close friend Dave Chapelle during the morning hours in West Hollywood. The two pals were seen smoking it up in a casual outing, as per Daily Mail. This comes after the 30-year-old pop star was seen arriving at Barney's Beanery looking rather disoriented. You know what this is? This is a homie hangout. What happens is Justin Bieber is probably married to a nightmare. You know, and it could be a man or a woman. I'm just saying, what I'm seeing is signs of being married to a nightmare. And he had to get out of the house. They were, yeah, right? And he said, Dave, save me. And Dave went out. And, you know, this is what it is. And he was saying, oh, it's so bad. But Dave was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, well, you know, it was one of those things. But also, speaking of Dave Chapelle, he wins a big award. I think he won an award. He received the President's Award at the NAACP Image Awards. Dave Chapelle, man, big award, big night. For him, Dave Chappelle still making waves. You know, name another comedian that's received. Didn't he get the Mark Twain Prize for American humor? I mean, you say what you want. Dave Chappelle's doing it. He is doing it. And there you go, folks. That's it for our little news segment hour. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll bring you more comedy news.
Do you like to bang? You don't stay.